All right, people who followed me for a long time have absolutely commented on the fact that obviously my physique looks better now that I've gone from powerlifting to actually caring about my physique. But a lot of people are like, hey, what are you doing to lose fat? You just seem to get leaner every single week. And of course, this one is that sun, all that lighting from the sun, so you can't see it as much on these exercises. But some of the others, you definitely can. Definitely can. I'm not like right in the direct sunlight. But again, even these, you can look at those and tell, tremendous difference from even just a few months ago. Again, as it's continued to trim down, and I'm 107 pounds the week that this is done. This probably won't be up for a couple of weeks. So people are asking me, hey, you just keep getting leaner, yet, you're not losing muscle. So in some cases, your strength is coming back up. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your diet? And here's going to be the keys that I'm going to point out. No, I'm not using any fat burners. No, I'm not using Clen. No, I'm not using Tren. I'm not doing any of those things. Okay, so with that being said, what am I doing? Like, what has helped me to just keep chipping away at the body fat? And I'm going to say the biggest things here is obviously number one, do it slowly. I don't know how else to stress that. Everyone wants to get ripped really fast, and they were like, dude, you've been like kind of slow cutting with this for over a year from, having been a softer, fluffier, and now, you just keep getting better. But again, notice that I've been recompositioning as I go, right? It hasn't been, well, I'm losing some muscle. Like, none of that's happening. We've been making some gains a little bit here and there. So with the diet, it's pretty straightforward. It's basically protein overfeeding with fasting. And it's not even full protein overfeeding. I'm not even doing the protocols from those studies. I'm not doing like 400 grams a day. But I keep my protein really, really high. And I want that to be the key. One of the big keys combined with fasting. All right. What I find, and this is what some other people I know also, you get to a point where you don't even need to really track calories. You don't even almost need to restrict calories at a certain point with this. Because when you jack the protein way up, and in my case, like let's say I shoot for a minimum of 300 grams. It doesn't mean that's all I'm going to eat, but let's say we do that. And I eat, a decent amount of whole foods. You can pretty much, if you do that and you fast through the mornings, you're going to almost lose body fat no matter what, especially if you train fasted. And that's kind of been the keys. It's been the protein overfeeding with the fasted training. Now, I'm on a little lower carbs, higher healthy fats this particular week. And for me, that does make me look leaner. And it's something that I'm going to probably keep doing for a bit because it works so well for me for that. But definitely up there, the protein and then the fasting. So let me break down kind of why the protein does this. It has to do with the thermic effect and nutrient partitioning effect. In fact, if you look at some of those protein overfeeding studies, when they force-fed protein in them for people who lift, they all lost body fat. But that's when we're talking, it was like 400 grams a day. In other words, even if you try to force a calorie surplus, and you force that much protein, the thermic effect of the protein almost seems to push you back into a deficit. Plus, those studies, they had people at maintenance, they take them up and had 800 calories of protein, like 200 extra grams. Some of the experts suspected that the appetite effect pushed their appetite back down to the point where they really weren't eating the surplus. But we also can't believe that it pushed it down enough to push them into a deficit because they all gained muscle. But you think of the thermic effect of the protein also, your maintenance is going to go up. In other words, because your energy turnover goes up purely as a result of it. So let's say you were eating, 150 grams of protein, okay, and you take it up to 300. If you were burning 3,000 calories on the 150 grams of protein, you're probably going to burn more than that purely by changing that macro. Okay? So we need to be very clear on that. Your calories in and calories out is not constant. What you eat affects calories out. It's a big deal, especially when it comes to both protein and fiber. And fiber is another big one. I always eat a fair amount of fiber, a lot of fiber in my diet. So there's that. Then there's the fasting. And one of the things that I noticed that helped the most was training fasted. That helped a lot. But then I started doing fasted cardio on top of it. All right, there's going to be the take home. Once I added the fasted cardio in, the scale starts to slowly trickle down and I get leaner every week, even if I force feed myself. Meaning, in other words, I go to bed completely full every night in my fasted window. In fact, a lot of times in the evenings when I've eaten these larger meals, I am so full that it's almost like I feel like I've actually pigged out at a buffet by the end of the day sometimes. Okay, I have not gone under maybe 3,200 calories any one day for months. Like, I guarantee you I probably haven't gone under that. And most days it's obviously more than that. I average about 3,600 calories, and it's all whole food. So let's say, we're talking chicken, eggs, avocados, walnuts. This is where I'm getting my calories. This sort of stuff. Some steak, peanut butter, Greek yogurts. All right, this is what I eat. My calories are pretty high, and it's a lot, but it's still a lot of food. It's all quality food. By doing that, I have not created a surplus. Like, I get leaner eating all that much food. And it's something I've noticed with other people too. It gets to a point you almost don't need to track. Just eat your food. Make sure you hit your protein and eat your food. And then that's the thing. People say, what if I'm scared of going into a bulk or a cut? It almost doesn't matter, because you're either way, whether you gain or lose a little weight or not, when you're doing this with the fasting and the protein overfeeding, in my experience, you tend to recomposition. And I've noticed other people, it's the same thing. They're like, dude, when I do that, I don't have to track, because I'm going to gain a little bit of muscle and lose a little fat no matter which way. It's just that if I track, I can control which direction it biases. That's it. And it really is that simple. Right? As long as you're eating high satiety foods with it, you're good. And as long as the protein is that high and your training is on point and your sleeping and everything is on point, you're probably going to gain a little muscle. Again, if the protein is really high. So there comes a point with this to where you don't need to spend a lot of time worrying about, am I bulking or cutting? You can just recomposition. And the scale may go down some here, or if you're a skinnier guy, it may go up. But this is what I've done, and what I find is that with the fasted training and the fasted cardio, again, people argue, experts argue about that, well, you'll regain the weight later from whatever you burned through during the fasted window. It all balances out. I haven't found that to be the case, and a lot of people I know are like, not really, you seem to get leaner from it, no matter what. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.